This is the Digital Robbie Podcast with your host, Robbie Schrader. Do I keep saying your name wrong? Can
No.
you say your last name for me?
Schrader.
Schrader. Okay.
It's Stephen Baz. Right? Baz? Oh, man.
That's okay. Because, I always spell your last name. I see your last name spelled a certain way, and I want to say Schroeder.
Yeah.
But that O is silent.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or there's like an umlaut that's over the O, but we dropped it when we came to America. I mean, not like I'm like second, third generation, but my
Second, third generation.
No. I mean, I don't know when my great grandparents or double, triple great grandparents arrived. I mean, I don't know too much of my lineage, but my dad's mom did live in Wisconsin. I know.
Okay,
that.
So is that mostly German?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's mostly German, and then my mom's side is Hoffman.
Hoffman. Okay. Very German.
So it's
Or
Stephen
German.
and now I'm getting your
Baz.
what's your Baz? Stephen
Yeah,
Baz. Okay.
They say it's from the Basque region of Spain, where like some Spanish sailors from the Basque region jumped ship in the Philippines and started a colony.
Baz region.
The Basque region.
Basque region.
So it's kind of like oh yeah, that's how Baz. Or, interesting fact, the southern Philippines is heavily Muslim, so it could mean Baz as in falcon from the Arabic. So
Okay.
two different stories.
Baz means falcon in Arabic.
Apparently.
Huh.
Yeah, like Shabazz or
Right.
Amir al-Shabazz.
Yeah. Then there's Shabazz Palaces.
Yeah.
In Seattle, the hip hop group.
Those guys are. I saw those guys before at what's the place across from the Comet?
Numos.
Numos, yeah.
Yeah.
Comet Numos, and one of those guys was like climbing the rafters in his underwear.
You could probably bring the mic a little closer to you. I don't know. Yeah, that's good. That's probably fine. I don't know. Maybe that's too close. Now, this is a whole thing.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe I should just turn you up a little because you talk so.
Yeah. Okay.
Or how's it look? Can you see audition in there?
I'm looking at it right now, and it seems like it's got a decent signal. So, but if I start talking like this, it's pretty low, and I'm kind of talking into my chest voice, you know. But then if I project it, I'll push it up. Okay. If I push it forward more, like over onto my hard palate,
it's whatever. I can. Yeah. I'll have the individual tracks, and I can boost them or whatever.
Okay, I'll just try to be consistent.
It's probably more about content, anyways. But or
content. Ooh.
I don't know. Okay, now I'm sweating. Now I'm. You've been traveling recently, right? For work, maybe?
No. Oh. It was for
pleasure.
It was for my family, kind of like my folks. They just relocated out to Hawaii after living in central Illinois for 40 years. And
oh, wow.
Starting a business there and raising a family. And
what did they still doing the business thing for the? No, they was it the whole pandemic shut it down, or just prompted a change in their life?
No, they retired like about 8 years ago.
Oh, okay.
So they were both physicians.
Okay.
In central Illinois. So, like they really integrated like into the community, you know, and adopted like the culture. You know, they're both like hardcore Republicans.
Okay.
You know, central Illinois is very conservative.
Yeah.
It's rural, so like so they hired a moving company, and within like 3 weeks they just like packed up all their stuff and had it shipped out.
Did they put it? Obviously, you put it into like big pod type things that they, at some point they put it on a plane because you're not gonna put it or boat.
Yeah,
boat. Okay.
Yeah, pretty sure it's gonna be like train
to boat
or
that makes sense.
Or truck to boat.
I don't know why I thought plane. I guess plane if you went to Europe, maybe.
Yeah,
but that's got to be so expensive. No, even boat. You could do Europe, but it would be like months.
Months, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's going to take like a couple weeks for it to get there anyway.
Wow.
So
Did they purge some stuff and you got some like heirlooms?
fuck yeah, dude! I got like this nice like 48-inch TV,
Whoa,
like a center
okay.
console, a bunch of like stereo components, speakers, an outdoor fireplace.
Wow, like a gas one or something.
And it's just like a it's not gas. It's like
Just like
analog,
a unit, yeah.
whatever you want to call it.
It just contains
Yes.
the seasoned wood or whatever.
Yeah. Then what else did I score? 3 guitars and a Clavinova piano, electric piano.
Like a upright piano kind of electric.
Yeah.
Like an
yeah.
old school organ-ish electric organ or
It's like one of those like it's just like a fully weighted
electric.
electric piano that you see in the mall when you're driving by the piano when you're
Like
walking
a keyboard
past the,
thing, or
yeah.
does it have more of a bass to it? Does it have like, or is it
It
on
does.
like a stand?
It,
Okay.
it has its own stand. It's integrated into, and yeah, it's just like one of the musical instruments I could like jack from the house. So,
Yeah,
you know,
that's cool. I
pretty
got
happy
when
about
I have my one of my sisters moved into my house like a year ago ish or a little more, and she has this I guess it's just a Korg electric
Oh,
keyboard.
nice. Okay.
Our house already has a baby grand in it, but I moved into the basement, and I'm not going to bring. Anyways, this is just a story about how I got a keyboard, and then I finally hooked it up to my computer and was recording some with it and layering tracks. It was like a spurt of inspiration, and then it kind of dwindled. Or it gets more complicated. My brother-in-law's mom came over for 2 weeks, and I wanted to be a little more quiet, so I wasn't. I mean, I can do everything in my headphones anyways, but
True.
I felt a little more on my toes.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But I don't know. Creativity is.
So you play piano as well?
I mean, I took 2 years when I was like in middle school, and then,
okay.
And then I've taken other instruments. Like I took cello in my early 20s.
Wow.
For 2 years, twice a week, but from 18 to 25 or so, I also played the turntable.
Okay.
And I was in a band doing experimental delay pedal stuff.
Oh wow.
And so I'm a little bit of a scratch DJ and less of a beat matching DJ.
Okay.
And when I started doing comedy, I purged all my turntable stuff and my records
Interesting.
to focus on comedy. But then I met Andy Iwancio, and she's a DJ, so she got me back into it.
Okay.
Maybe I don't know if she's aware of her impact on. Well, she has digital turntables that she ended up getting real ones, but
yeah, I saw Derek Sheen perform at this bar in what's that?
Bremerton.
It's like this Filipino neighborhood, and
In Seattle.
yeah, it's on Beacon Hill.
Okay.
Yeah, I forget the name of it. They do good pizzas. Yeah, and then Andy did a set there.
Oh, a little DJ thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went with Andy to Columbia City to the Hummingbird Saloon, which is next to Full Tilt, and she would do like a little scratch set, and then we both performed, and maybe some other comedian. This was like 4 years ago, but or something. But
what are they up to now?
The Hummingbird or Andy, I think still performing. She was doing comedy in L.A. off and on. I saw she performed at the Old Town pub.
Okay.
That piggybacks your mic on Thursdays.
Yeah. Okay.
But I haven't seen her since Halloween when I did a show in Ravenna or like off Roosevelt at the parking lot of Laughs behind V Chatty and Piper Shepherd lived there. Now Megan Cady lives
above Laughs.
No. It's kind of nearby there. It's more like behind El Camion. On off of Roosevelt, kind of up from Trading Musician, further near that old Olympia
Okay.
Pizza,
Yeah, yeah.
near the
I know that truck, the
Whole
El
Foods
Camion.
over there.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
And then there's Sunset Cafe is around there or something.
Yeah, what's that? So yeah, there's Trading Musician and then like the Racer.
Yeah. They're right next to each other. Racer is no longer a thing.
Yeah.
I thought they sold to a internet radio station, I don't know, startup or something, but I haven't seen activity over there.
So this content seems rather mundane.
Our content?
I kind of feel like we should
well,
like spice it up with something.
Yeah,
man.
we could spice it up.
I don't know, like I guess that requires taking risks, right? Or like being
yeah,
or like being candid, or I don't know. I'm not very good at it. I've done one other podcast. I did
well, yeah, my formula, it's evolving, and I haven't gotten to the point where I make prompts,
Oh, right.
Or any kind of thing to go off. I just kind of sandwich music with improv, and then I kind of went off the rails with local references.
Okay.
No, I mean here on this one. But
okay, so
we don't. I mean, we could. If you want to generate. So it was.
It's all good.
Yeah.
Like I feel that the conversation, so long as it's kind of like natural. I'm interested in kind of like knowing more about you.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I'm not really worried about. I mean, I kind of like the mundane, but also if there's a natural flow, then something's gonna be interesting, right? Unless we could just.
No. This is cool, man. So you were telling me a bit about this whole setup here, where it's like you get like it's part of some group from LA.
Yeah, the original spot is in LA.
Ah, I see.
And then one of the co-owners moved up to Seattle over the last year, and he was like, "I want to make a spot like the LA spot, but in Seattle."
Okay.
And this is kind of the birth of that.
So the LA spot's similar to this kind of setup?
It's like this. Instead of these chairs, it has like computer chairs.
Okay.
And there's like a little table. There's a TV. It's
gaming chairs?
Yeah, like gaming chairs.
Okay.
Yeah. I've only been down there at the start of the original room, because they've evolved into it. They're renting a different room, and they're about to move into a larger room in LA.
Okay.
They want to put LED walls in the LA studio, so you can have like custom walls.
That'd be dope. It sounds expensive.
Yeah.
But
how's
this joint doing? You getting a lot of action here?
Yeah, there's a couple like I don't know what you'd call it, professional companies contacting this place, and then there's a comedian discount. There's local like you can rent this room for. Currently, they'll once it gets too overwhelming with bookings, they're gonna change the price back to a different price. But you can pay $30 for an hour of time.
Oh, that's not bad
for audio, and they'll throw in video, I think.
Okay.
If you want it.
So I was trying to think. I had a question. Oh, so yeah, what have you been doing in terms of like have you been doing like a lot more comedy? Have you been doing more of this? Have you got any new stuff coming up?
I was doing a lot of this. I did about 14 episodes, and then I was kind of burnt out. And at the time I was working in here, but I decided it wasn't quite fitting with me. I was like thinking too much about the work when I wasn't working, and I'm like a perfectionist, and with this kind of job you need to just like set it aside. But it was also kind of like I was learning by the seat of my pants or whatever. But beyond that, I've been taking sign language classes. Right. I started going out to comedy. I've been to your mic a few times. I could turn off that screen if it's distracting.
No, I like checking it just to make sure that I'm getting a decent level on my vocal track.
It's probably fine.
Okay.
I don't know, right?
Because sometimes I talk like this and it doesn't really register from where I'm seeing it right now. But then, I get a.
Wait, I see what you're saying, I guess.
Yeah. I think that's pretty good. Even if I like start going into my chest voice like this, talking third wheeled. So this is so. What's your experience with like improv and theater, stuff like that?
I took musical theater when I was in grade school.
Oh, okay.
Improv. I've never taken improv classes, but my stepmom has always encouraged me to do that.
I took musical theater in college.
Okay.
Yeah.
I went to a K-12 school in Edmonds. There was like a homeschool resource center, so you could go there and take classes. That was the resource. And one of the moms was like a drama teacher or whatever. She did multiple plays that I took part in.
Okay.
I feel like that's most of my acting.
Okay. Yeah, that was my next question. Like, have you ever done any acting work?
I've tried to make skits with fellow comedy buddies that turns into overdramatic, like cheesy stuff, which is kind of entertaining. Like I did do a sex scene once in a tattoo shop bathroom.
Oh my god!
At that Chromome above Jai Tai in that little, it's a tiny bathroom because I had an art studio in that tattoo shop.
Really?
Even though I don't have a tattoo.
Okay.
And I'm not a tattoo artist. I'm just friends with the owner.
I've never done a sex scene before, but is there penetration?
Well, no.
Okay. I mean, you know, depends if you're like a method actor, right?
Right.
Or both of you are method
actors. It wasn't that intense. It was more, we were like we just kind of like, it evolved. I don't even think we had it premeditated. But Mara Satirial was like, she's in New York now. The joke about it was like, it was a sketch about not drugs. It was like, that's what gets you high is not taking drugs or something. Like it's crazier than drinking beer. I don't know. Anyways, after I finished, I collapsed on her. It's just on like the sink of the bathroom, and
so it was like.
It was like me going like
missionary.
Yeah, and then I said
on the sink.
And then I say I'm Todd after I'm like we didn't know each other's names.
So it was kind of like one of those. That's interesting. So it was like one of those moments where you see someone and then it's like this instant connection, and then like you just go somewhere and bang kind of thing. Or
it was just a cut scene. We cut straight to it or something. It was like a party scene where she's like, "You want to get out of here?" And I'm like, "Okay," and then.
You hit the bathroom, and then it's like just.
It was very amateur, lots of green screen.
So you didn't really storyboard it before?
No, it was this guy Laith Seahan and him, me, Mara, and Jason McBride, and it was like us, and we'd meet in that tattoo shop instead of going to the open mic, and we just work on scripts that Laith had written.
Okay. And you'd shoot it.
And then we'd shoot it, yeah.
Okay.
Or try to shoot multiple. I don't know.
Was there footage of this anywhere around?
Yeah. It's on. Our little collective was called Mashed Potatoes, which is extremely hard to find on YouTube. But
okay. So could I like just point up and then like look up and then you could just kind of insert it like right here?
Yeah, we could even play it on the TV and then have it show on this podcast live. I mean, we could watch it, but. Yeah, I probably could do that. I haven't done a whole lot of.
That'd be cool. I don't know.
No, yeah, I haven't done. I'm still learning Premiere, like Adobe Premiere. Or it goes in between us. Yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Because it's a little split screen.
Okay, it's a split screen, so it would go here. Or am I on the?
I'll link it in the description or something, but I don't know.
In that two shot that they're going to see, are you on this side or are you on this side?
I'm on the right.
So you're on this side. On my right.
Yeah. So you're over here.
Okay. Excellent.
I'm figuring out the 4 shot right now because I've had 4 people in here and I had to do a lot of post-production to make it look okay because I tried to make us all next to each other and the headroom was like crazy since we don't have 4 cameras in here. I was duplicating the feed and
okay.
So like I make for OBS I'd do 2 shots out of that, 2 out of that, and then I'd just crop it and have them
Wow.
Anyways, I'm gonna do the classic like 4 corners kind of thing, I think, and then maybe drop the social media handles and put that on a whole nother screen or something that I just blip to at the end to be like, you want to see these people's
all that detail, man.
socials. I know I already, well, I don't know.
I see. This is the quality camera I want to get at the mic, and like,
yeah,
record.
That would be great.
Comics,
and then all you need is like a little bit. You need like the audio to be a little bit better too. Probably.
Yeah, it's interesting you mentioned that because I was running through the board with a USB adapter, XLR to USB, into the computer, but like this last week it didn't take. For some reason, it was like I think it was the switch on the USB adapter that I needed to change. But it's still like working out this technical stuff.
Oh yeah, that's kind of, I don't know, when I hit the wall with this working here, doing this podcast, I was kind of like it's like falling through a little bit, but now I'm like, okay, if I do it once a week ish, it's like more manageable, and I don't need to edit everything like in 48 hours, which we can do this, and then I can have it for however long I feel, there's no deadlines. I just, I put this pressure on myself to be like, oh, I got to release this content. I need some gratification, or
right. You're not cranking it out once a week.
Or like 3 times a week or something.
Right. How many have you been recording? What's the?
You're like number 15 or something.
So you do one per week? You record one per week?
Ish. I was doing like 3 recordings a week for about 3 or 4 weeks.
Okay.
And that was like too much. And then I had somebody cancel or not show up, or the building was locked one time.
Okay.
I didn't have a key. So.
And then,
But other things I've been doing in comedy, I finally went to Tacoma Comedy Club.
Okay.
And I tried that out.
How'd that go?
It's like any other open mic. It was kind of like there's some bad comedy. And
did you bring the abacus?
I didn't. I thought of it. I thought of that. But I might. I don't know. It's stand-up comedy is just so interesting. It's like you can do whatever you want. So
yeah,
do you want to do props? Do you want to read off of a thing? Like do you want like more of like less reading and more just like keyword prompts, and then you don't know what you're, or do you want to just improvise? And then there's all this like judging where you feel like other people are judging you for. I feel like other people are judging me for, if I'm going the improv route, they're like, this guy doesn't have jokes. I don't like comedians without jokes. But I'm like, well, I'm funny, right? I'm entertaining. There's other people. I'm the break. I'm the rest. I don't know.
I like your stuff, man.
Yeah. Thanks.
I mean, it's definitely like original.
Right. I like doing one thing 1 week, and then I don't have to do it again, or I can do it way later. I don't know.
And you've been doing comedy for how long?
8 years.
8 years.
Yeah.
Okay. And then so what do you consider like doing comedy? Going up once a week, or like or just like writing jokes?
Yeah,
consistent cadence.
I mean, there's a certain mind you start thinking like a comedian at some point, but then what does that entail? Does that entail like you end up hating yourself? Do you hate yourself even if you're not a comic? Like, I don't know.
Hate yourself.
Well, maybe not hate yourself
because you're not
like,
putting the work in.
You're not because you're doing comedy. You don't enjoy the rest of your life as much, or something.
Oh,
or
really?
There's some kind of like I can't really quite.
I just hate myself because I don't think I'm very funny. I mean, I know I can, like, if I put in my time,
yeah,
and I like write stuff down,
yeah,
I think I come up with some good stuff every now and then, but it's like all about like being consistent and like kind of developing a habit, and and from that's like your wow, right?
Right. It's like can you go up and be funny on the spot, like
Yeah.
you
No.
know, and then like by being consistent, you can hone that skill, right? Is
Right.
that
I mean, yeah. So
but
that's
I
what
but
you
I
do for
also
20 years, and
yeah, a lot of people don't like comedy because it's like you're repeating the same stuff over and over to get perfect, which that's I don't know. That makes more sense if you're going to a different town every week, you know,
right.
if you're on the road. But if you're just performing in the same city at like 5 different spots in front of similar comedians,
Yeah.
I don't know. You're like, it depends if you can source a crowd, but usually you can't source like a different crowd and like a large crowd consistently or often, you know. Like, I mean,
Right.
the ideal comedy crowd is like 10 to
People who
10 to
want to.
20 people who are looking to laugh
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
they enjoy whatever you're saying, I
Yeah.
guess, or doing. But
I I don't know much about like the road or anything. But do you have any experience doing that?
I've kind of tagged on to people going on the road,
Okay.
but I have no experience calling a venue and being like, "Hey, can I perform for you?" You know, and then this is how we promote it, and then I get paid this much or
Right.
something.
Right. Right. Right.
And these people are performing. I think that those are the things I don't quite know how to. I mean, when I'm saying it out loud, it's like, oh yeah, you just call somebody, but you have to map this out on a map and be like,
Right.
okay, and then you have to fill in the gaps or be like, okay, I'm gonna just hang out somewhere else for an extra day. But
you said that like you've been on the road with other people,
yeah, and
and they
they've
kind of
done
take.
they've
Okay.
but and one of the times I learned from one of the trips that you can just call a bar that has like karaoke capabilities and then be like, hey, we have a comedy show, and especially if it's a smaller town, then and they have a PA system, they can kind of wrangle the locals to come watch your show.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
And do that for like 20 years, you know.
Yeah, and that
Establish
show
that.
we didn't get paid, but we got free meals.
Okay.
You know,
And where was that?
that was like southeast Washington, I think,
Okay.
or right near the corner of Idaho, or I mean at the border. I don't remember the exact name of the town.
Idaho. Here's a lot of racists in Idaho.
That's another thing with going on the road is like you have to appeal to a more bland audience. I don't know how to put it, like
Yeah.
a more generalized audience. You can't be too smart, I guess,
Sure.
or I don't know.
Or like material you know is going to land with the
Yeah,
general
like for
group of
me,
people.
I could imagine like riffing, like especially if you spend time in the town and then you just joke about
Right.
the roads nearby or like the main attraction of the town.
Right.
If you can find the pulse of the people, I'm just like imagining this, but
That makes sense.
and then you have some, I don't know, some jokes you think would work. I don't know. Or if they don't work, then you just punch down on yourself. I don't
Right.
on stage.
How do you feel about punching down in general?
Well,
I find.
I mean, you can't. You're supposed to only punch down on yourself, or
okay.
right? I don't know.
I don't know.
They say you should always punch up. So,
Okay.
right? I don't know.
So, what I've been doing is like, I've been trying to do this exercise where I'm just taking like these news headlines, right?
Yeah.
And then like that's the setup. The news headline's the setup, and then I write a punch for it, you know. And I find it's really easy to go into like punching down mode, you know, especially, you know, if it's something like, what's one of them?
I mean, I guess
Florida, this Florida
Florida's
grocery chain
okay.
has now implemented no masks
Mm-hmm.
requirement for vaccinated employees,
Uh-huh.
and what was it? I'm telling it wrong, but it's like other
I think you can. I
or
think,
like
yeah.
masks are optional for vaccinated customers. Other
Right.
optional things for Floridians are pet alligators and 46 chromosomes.
46
Yeah,
chromosomes,
so
which is a joke towards what? Oh, just not being a full human. Like, or how many chromosomes does normal people have?
46.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So just regular.
Yeah, so that's kind of like punching down on Floridians.
Yeah, I think that's fine. I guess it depends. I don't know. I'm no expert, but I think it just I guess I can't answer the question because I don't know.
I kind of feel like that's
Florida's
kinda,
an easy target. I mean,
yeah.
you just like, I guess you don't want to punch down on like black people if you're
Yeah.
white or something,
or
any
or
race.
most races, right.
Yeah, unless you're black,
Unless it's your
then
own.
you can punch
Right.
down.
I can punch down
Or
on Filipinos all day.
I mean, like you could punch down a little bit. Like it's really your tone. Like I don't know. It's just you have to play the fine line of like not being racist.
Right.
In that situation. I feel like in Seattle you can punch down on organized religion, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Or if you're, I don't know, in Utah, I don't know, you joke about polyamory or not polyamory but polygamy because people used to have multiple wives or something.
Oh.
No, I don't know.
Okay. So this brings me to another question. What do you consider hack?
Oh, like that I don't enjoy watching, or the hack that I do enjoy watching?
Maybe it's like, first of all, what is hack? Like that
Hack,
joke, which is
like
completely obvious, right? And like you don't make the effort to like dig for something that's more interesting or
right. You're just filling
clever.
20 seconds of a necrophilia joke or something. Like I wrote a joke when I was digging with my dad. I was thinking about digging up a dead body, and so my joke is the only good thing about digging up a dead body is that you get to have sex afterwards. And that's like hacky, but it gets a laugh.
Yeah. How is that hacky?
Because it's so easy. You mix the formulas: death plus sex, or dead body plus sex equals laugh.
Okay.
I don't know. It's an easy formula. It's simple. I don't know. I think certain premises, like, so, the thing of, I don't know, like joking about your wife or joking about your kids, those are kind of hacky. I don't know. Okay. But Jim Gaffigan does a really good job of any of his comedy. I don't know. I was just listening to him the other night, but
I've been listening to him in a minute.
Wouldn't like premises that have been joked about, like the airplane food premise, right. That's like a shoe horn of hack. I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe joke premises that are trending in a city, but that doesn't mean it's like globally hack. I think it's all opinion or subjective.
Can you help me with a couple of things I wrote for?
Sure.
So I feel guilty.
Is this a roast? No.
No.
Can you help me with a roast, please?
Want it to be. And I'm not like that's time consuming. Like that really requires my
roasting
brain power. Yeah. I mean, just because I'm not like that versed in it. But I've been trying, like I was mentioning, like I've been trying to do these headlines as a setup, and then writing a punch for it. Because I feel like I need to bring like more material. Like I just need to like.
Well, mental exercise. Yeah. It's kind of like doing scales with sheet music for an instrument or something.
It's a great analogy. So let me see. So more COVID-19 vaccines are coming to Taiwan as cases spike. In exchange, Taiwan will provide a vastly inferior and poorly manufactured COVID-19 variant.
Oh, because it's like This is your joke?
Yeah.
Okay. That's not
That was
because
the joke.
Taiwan is like cheaply made things.
Yes. Excellent.
Well, it's very formal. The first two sentences, right? It's like, what was it again? It's
more COVID-19 vaccines are coming to Taiwan as cases spike. In exchange, Taiwan will provide a vastly inferior and poorly manufactured COVID-19 variant.
Mm-hmm. Well, our variants. Check out the premise. Our variants spawned from people having the vaccine, or is it variants are just created by transmission, right? Is like more people.
Yeah, it's a mutation.
Yeah, mutation.
Yeah.
So it's a false premise, right? Because it has nothing to do with the vaccine.
A false premise?
Well, I mean,
what's a false premise, man? Come on.
Like the fact that your first lines are about the vaccine coming to Taiwan, but the punchline is about the mutation, which has very little significance with people getting vaccinated.
It's in fact like the opposite of I mean, because if they're getting vaccines, you would think that like you wouldn't expect a variant to be produced by that.
Well, people were saying that you could carry the whatever droplets or contagions you can be contagious even if it's just on you if you're vaccinated. But now it sounds like there's less and less proof that vaccinated people are spreading the virus, even if it's on them. So that doesn't, and that's how mutations would happen because more people would be exposed by the virus being on that person. I mean, I like the punchline that it's a Taiwan is going to create a really cheap mutation.
Right.
But as long as it lands, it's solid. But what would be like a quality of a cheap mutation of Taiwan? So like maybe like, well, you could still have that whole joke could be somewhat the same. Be like, okay, more. You could just say COVID-19 vaccines are arriving in Taiwan, and then some synonym for, on the other hand, Taiwan's developing a very cheap mutation or whatever you had said, that are making people not that sick. I don't know.
So maybe like changing the thing in the punchline, the thing that's being manufactured, instead of it being a COVID-19 variant, something else like their own vaccine.
Yeah, I guess you're making it funny. Oh yeah, like but they're not developing a vaccine. But that's the joke. I see what you did is you're saying they're manufacturing a variant. Yeah, maybe it's fine. Maybe it's just maybe it's the delivery or something.
Here's another one.
Okay.
And I did this last week, and I didn't deliver it the same way. Anyway, so Biden said that fighting unemployment will be less of a sprint and more of a marathon. He then put on his running shoes and carefully walked up the stairs to Air Force One. What's your take on that?
What fighting? What was the first line? It was fighting
unemployment. Yeah.
Well, I mean, maybe it's not a total haha funny or it's not funny because, I mean, it is like his job is going on to Air Force One, but that's part of his job. But it's like if he did something really, because the president's job is hard. So I'm like, or at least you do a lot of things.
Right.
Putting on the running shoes and then
Because there's no relation between like unemployment, which is kind of like the subject of
Well,
the
the
setup.
visual isn't that funny. Like it's just normal.
Right.
If he put on running shoes and then speed walked, that's a funny visual, kind of, because at least you see this old man doing like a slow, like not a run, because that's
Right. Okay, I agree. I totally think that. So so Air Force One, right? He was like tripping up the stairs, whatever he was doing, which is
Mhm.
kind of like what I was going for that.
He's what, up the stairs?
When he tripped,
Oh, he tripped up the
yeah.
stairs.
So I'm kind of like I was going for like so he's like making a reference to like sprinting and marathons,
Mm-hmm.
whereas like he himself is like got such poor motor reflexes that like are you?
Yeah,
Does that make any sort of sense?
like because he had to train to walk up the stairs. My brain also goes to the absurd, where it would be funny if he like got on shoes and then ran into a brick wall or something. But that's also like, what does that have to do with unemployment? And what do I have to know your angle of comedy to
Right.
help write for you? Like, it's hard, but I mean, I'm all for it. I'm all for using my brain to.
I'm really like learning.
Sure.
Like you're
Yeah.
about comedy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because because you're automatically going to like the obvious things in like the setup, like unemployment.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas me, I like what I basically was like just saw this headline,
Mm-hmm.
and I was thinking Biden. Oh, like what's something like that Biden is kind of known for recently, which was
Okay.
like tripping on the stairs to Air Force One.
Or is, I mean, or
So I was trying to incorporate that somehow.
yeah, and
A
people would
reference to
have
that.
to catch. It would have to be very apparent that everybody knew, and if nobody was laughing, you'd have to be like, because he tripped on the way to his jet. You guys, like, you have to kind of lay into the crowd a little. You don't want to use the F word and be like, fuck you guys.
No, yeah.
Because that's really, you really have to. You have to have intent. Well, you can do that, and people do. It's just you have to. Another one would be like, he does the thing about unemployment, and then you say something like, and he's been spending his leisure time watching track runners or something. People running on a track for fun while he doesn't do anything. I don't.
Okay.
I don't.
I'm like so what's your process for like joke writing, I guess?
Maybe
Just like inspiration, like something funny comes to you and you just like jot it down and you got a whole stack of notes.
Maybe the truth, the jokes that hold truth are the ones where I experience something that maybe isn't pleasant or maybe is new to me, and then I'll write something, at least a premise off of it, and maybe not finish the joke. I mean, I don't know how many full jokes I really have, but I mean, yeah. That's. I feel like I landed flat on the answer to that.
I think I understand what you're talking about. What's one of your like really strong go-to jokes that you wrote?
I have a newer joke that I don't think is very great because it's kind of talks about abusive relationships, but I said it in Renton, in Andy's backyard for that show.
Right.
And I think I had thought of it before, but I personally don't like football, and so I'm embodying this this hypothetical situation where I say like my wife or girlfriend doesn't mind me watching football because at least I'm yelling at something else. So that's kind of funny because I guess domestic violence is funny to me, but it's not really a funny topic. But maybe it's bringing light to it. But if people have been yelled at or abused in the real life and then they're at the show and then why would they laugh at that? I don't know.
Sure.
You know, maybe it's misogynistic, I guess.
I mean, but it's kind of like
But it's lighthearted. It's also a joke, so it's like, I don't know.
you were talking about truth.
Right. Okay. What's a truth joke? I mean,
like I just remember you mentioning using the word truth.
right. I mean, that whole digging up a dead body to have sex and then having sex and not saying like I'm gonna have it with the body. You know, I could have it, in a consensually in a, in a boring bedroom situation.
Right.
That's based in an experience I had, and I remember like, oh, I was digging up a flower bed when I thought of that. Or I have a premise where my sister's kids live with me, so I see them in the bathtub during bath time or whatever, and I have a premise that I use like relation, very extrapolated, where I'm like, my dad owns the house I live in, so I say my landlord's grandchildren. Sometimes I help with my landlord's grandchildren taking a bath or something like that, which sounds really weird.
Right.
But there's something funny there, and I haven't quite finished the joke.
Yeah.
Or I just go on and on to be like, actually, it's, I don't know, like my mom's daughter's kids, like where I'm still not saying they're my nieces.
Right.
But
So how do you allude to that relationship then?
where,
Like that you are the.
I
your
just
dad's the
end up
landlord.
saying they're my landlord's grandchildren.
Oh.
And then I mean, I could go on, and just, I guess I'm avoiding, in that process, I'm avoiding saying they're my nieces.
Okay.
But maybe I do. It all depends on the room and the moment and what I feel that day. So
That's interesting.
I'm
learning. Okay. Can I run a couple
Yeah,
more
yeah,
past
yeah,
you,
yeah.
please?
You could even just start with or do you edit the title of the document or like the article, or do you just kind of throw that into the joke?
I kind of edit the headline.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or paraphrase it.
So, recent polls show that Trump still has a very strong grip on the Republican Party, which makes for a lot of sore pussies.
Yeah, I feel like pussy is too hard of a word, or at least the way you lead into it. You could say,
okay, so let me try and ask. Let me have you guess like what popular reference Trump reference?
Grab him by the pussy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So you should change it to like,
VJJ.
No, you should say so a lot of people's crotches are sore. Like that's funny. So something try. I don't know. You don't have to re-say it.
I mean, okay, all right.
Well, and then if people don't laugh, then you say, "I'm talking about the pussy grabbing." You get it, or something like that.
Okay.
Like I don't know. Or you could be, I mean, vajayjay is like that's slightly worse than pussy.
I think that's a little hack.
You could say vagine.
Or would that be hack saying vajayjay? Or would that be like more
that just
that
makes you
trending
look
towards
older?
hack?
I think.
Oh, okay.
I think. I mean, I don't, and I feel like I'm insulting you by.
I'm 49.
Yeah.
No, but that's
I mean, I don't know. It's like my dad saying bling or something like 10 years ago. Like 3 years after everybody stopped saying bling.
People stopped saying bling.
I don't know. Now it's just.
Let me see.
Do you want to keep working on that one or move on?
We can move on.
Okay.
Or do you want to keep working on that?
No, that's whatever.
Okay.
We got the initial dissection on it.
Yeah. What was that? That was like it's like pussy is kind of a hard.
Yeah, I think more generalized. Like you also said, like you said women or something too.
Recent polls show that Trump still has a very strong grip on the Republican Party.
So you could reference the Republican Party in a synonym for the second half of the joke. So a lot of conservative crotches are going to be sore or something.
Okay.
And then you're alluding that he might be grabbing the men's crotches too, which is kind of funny. But you don't have to make it like that. You finish the joke though, maybe, or I don't know.
Finish the joke.
Well, I mean, you keep telling it, or I interrupted you.
Oh, I mean, which makes for a lot of sore pussies.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And, you know, it was kind of like I was trying to go for like the reference to grab them by the pussies, but also kind of like making like implying that Republicans are pussies.
Oh, okay.
You know? So.
Oh yeah. Well, then lead into that because that's funny to call. But when will they be sore? Are they going to be sore when he lets go? And what's going to make him let go? What's going to make his grip not so firm anymore? You know. You could reference golfing because he loves golfing.
Okay.
So he's been gripping a lot of golf clubs. So when he starts gripping golf clubs, I don't know. You know, there's something there.
Yeah,
I just didn't pick up on the double entendre or whatever of kind of locker room talk of
Right.
like you're a pussy or whatever.
Okay. Cool.
So when he said grab him by the pussy, he was also including, I don't know, all the pussies in the Conservative Party. Okay, that doesn't have legs. What I'm saying.
So. Okay. So. Tax season is upon us, and the IRS will not be taxing the stimulus check money received by millions of Americans. And as usual, Amazon will still be paying 0% income tax. That kind of went nowhere when I told it, like at the mic.
Is this Washington State or national news?
National news.
Amazon will still not be paying. They'll be paying 0%, which is just a joke that they get away with a lot of stuff, right? Yeah. You could also you could lay into how they don't want unions, which I haven't read too much about, but I know the USPS got involved to make, I don't know, they set up some mailboxes in Amazon.
They set up mailboxes
at some Amazon campus so people could send something related to union stuff, even though Amazon gives the USPS $4 billion a year or something in business.
You know, I think like I don't mean to derail your comment, but
no.
It just occurred to me
Mm-hmm.
that what's your take on how to set up and then punch? You know,
noun, verb, adjective,
relating
verb.
in the setup.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. You want to address something, and what does that thing do? And then what is that thing like? And you could move the adjective around maybe. And then
what does that thing like?
Or what is that thing?
What is that
how
thing?
How does that thing operate? Or what is the action related to that noun? And then and then describe that. What is all of that? What is the noun doing the thing? What is it? What are the qualities of that event or that thing that happened?
Okay.
And then the second part is probably a verb or something.
So, for instance, like your digging joke.
Right. The dead body's the noun.
How's that go again? Like I was digging in the backyard with my dad the other day.
Well, no, that's where it spawned from. But the joke is the only good thing about digging up a dead body is that you get to have sex afterwards.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Which obviously is far from reality of my daily life. Right. Which is really playing more into imagination, which is somewhere I've been exploring with all these outdoor open mics I've been going to, and where it's like there's less of a expectation of what you're going to say. And if people aren't paying attention, I'll go on these things about, I guess, family members dying and stuff, it's kind of horrendous or whatever I'm saying, or like school shootings, which is bringing
very dark.
I feel like joking about school shootings, and I got feedback on this because I brought it up in my Tacoma set, and my friend Jason was like, you need to earn their trust more before you go into school shooting material.
Jason McBride?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That was his take on it, but he was also not there. He just saw the audio or the video. Which is true with some comedy, is you got to gain the audience's trust, but I feel like it's more likely that like you can like maybe it's still really dark, so like the audience might not be on board, but maybe it's more acceptable to talk about school shootings than it is to talk about domestic violence stuff, or at least like a man hitting a woman in the house or something, because is it more acceptable because there's less likelihood that an audience member has experienced a school shooting because it's less prevalent, so it's a more acceptable premise even though it's darker.
Now you mentioned,
and it's like a U.S. problem. Like
you mentioned, but I don't see the correlation between like yelling at your wife and domestic violence.
Well, the yelling at your wife would be like the lowest form of verbal abuse, which could escalate to. In my mind, I guess it's escalating to shoving somebody against a wall or something. I don't know.
I guess.
But those are the steps that are going in my mind that other people are not thinking about, maybe.
I mean, it is an act of aggression.
Yeah, it's not something ideal in a healthy relationship, but I'm also not in a relationship, or I'm not in a healthy relationship or an unhealthy relationship with other people. I mean, I have my own relationship with myself, I guess, but
right, as we all, as do we all. Okay. After speaking to Biden, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu suggested the assault in Gaza will persist. Biden then told Mr. Netanyahu, "I loved your album, Live at Stubbs."
What did Netanyahu say to Biden?
The assault in Gaza will persist.
You said the Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu.
Yeah.
So are you making a modest Yahoo joke?
Yeah. I mean, and also just to kind of like, say that Biden's just totally
out to lunch.
Yeah.
I think it gets wordy when you start saying Netanyahu, but if that's the whole joke with the modest Yahoo,
I can just like, the
Israeli Prime Minister told President Biden that the what will persist?
That the assault in Gaza will persist.
Maybe amp it up and say the violence in Gaza will persist. I don't know. You don't have to use violence,
but it does get wordy.
The assault in Gaza will persist, and then Biden responds by saying, "I loved your DVD or your showcase. I loved your performance at Coachella." Or
Yeah. King Without a Crown.
Because also people aren't going to get the Stubbs reference unless you're doing like a modest, I don't feel like a lot of the population knows about Stubbs. Like I know like Ween had a Stubbs live thing, and
it's very narrow, sort of.
Yeah, it's very niche. If you're playing at South by Southwest doing comedy there, that would be a good joke, especially if everybody got it and was laughing.
Right. Okay.
But I think using a broader festival like Coachella or something, and then you could even include Netanyahu. Netanyahu, because his name is not normal or whatever, not normal in America. So it's funnier, and then you land it with Coachella or one of the other Fire Festival or something, like You see, you got to find a word that's like funny and obscure and has a little bit of mystery shading around it, and then that's like the key word that's funny to say. And
Okay.
so you really could just find something kind of funny to you, and then use that. I mean, like in that case, if you're just searching for punchlines first, and that's you write a joke backwards, then you could be like, okay, what's funny? Is TikTok funny? Then I'm gonna do a TikTok. Or what about TikTok's funny? Or no, let's not do that at all. But something like that. Like what's funny about Seattle? Or what are topics about Seattle? Space Needle, Amazon,
Flannel, right?
Flannel, Bill Gates' divorce, the monorail, the light rail, traffic, bike lanes, too many dogs, the new poo bins for dogs.
So work is now underway on I-5 in an attempt to ease bottlenecks in downtown Seattle, a process which will cause even greater delays and bottlenecks.
By using bottlenecks, it makes me think of homeless people that are drinking, and so you could switch into that. But that's also, you don't want to make fun of the homeless because that's punching down. So wait, what was your? Sorry, I stopped listening. Something
okay.
About you're avoiding bottlenecks in downtown, so they're expanding I-5, and then what?
A process which will cause even greater delays and bottlenecks. It's not even really like a
even greater
line.
Bottlenecks by providing the construction. No traffic will make it through downtown.
Okay, so it's kind of like more. So there's a number of different approaches, for a punchline. It's like you can go for like wordplay,
right? And you don't want to
analogy.
And for wordplay, you don't want to like repeat the word too many times unless it's really funny. Yeah. Then there's, I guess, misdirection,
right?
Which is like
because it's all misdirection.
Yeah, that's what comedy kind of is.
Yeah. All right.
But also find the wordplay. I mean, all joke writing, it's about
surprise,
wordplay, and or finding the right synonym, and then also omitting words or basically. And I think I kind of suffer. Well, I'm good at editing down a joke, I guess.
Okay.
But when you have more time, then what do you do with that joke? Or can you expand on the joke? Or is there a way to make a joke really wordy and make that the joke? I mean, make that the funny part is by making something really wordy. I don't know.
Okay. Back to Florida.
Florida's always funny.
Not really, not Florida.
Yeah, okay.
And the unvaccinated and anti-vaxxers, right? So, let me see. The AMC network is currently in development of a new series called The Unvaccinated, where anti-vaxxers will be the primary antagonists. This is similar to AMC's The Walking Dead, where the main antagonists are also brain-dead zombies.
Mm-hmm. So, what's the name of the program?
The Unvaccinated.
The Unvaccinated, AMC. What's and then the after show? The after show is called The Talking Dead. Right? For that.
Yeah.
So, you could say the after show for the anti-vaxxers is also called The Talking Dead. It is pretty wordy though, but also it's your tone that you're telling it. I mean, we would be at a comedy show, I think, unless you're telling somebody that's on the light rail. But the way you're saying it is making me believe that it's a real show, and I don't know how to feel about that. But that's the whole premise, is like people have to kind of believe that. Also, I don't know what other shows AMC produces because it seems like such a boring network. But although maybe other people that watch Walking Dead might have a stronger mental connection with that word, but AMC kind of falls flat. You could say HBO, or like HBO's starting a pilot called Anti-Vaxxers, or you could say Vice. Whatever. Vice is
So like a word to replace AMC, which is kind of bland.
yeah. So if you say HBO, people are gonna perk up and they're like, "Oh,
Okay.
HBO Max,"
Right.
Disney Plus. That just rolls off your tongue. The B's kind of. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
You know phonetics, Steven?
I do.
No, yeah.
Like to a certain extent.
Huh?
I'm familiar with like phonetics, just as far as like my.
I was kind of joking, but no, yeah, I was interested.
I
I also missed what you said.
Totally,
so.
I was actually serious.
So that one would be, yeah. Well, okay. You say AMC is developing a show called Anti-Vaxxers, which, like their other hit, will feature people, dead. Let's see, dead brainless people walking around now. Dead.
I was just saying brain dead zombies.
Oh yeah.
Whatever. But
you don't have to say zombies because people know that it's about zombies.
Okay.
The show, I think. I mean, there's also you can also say it or double down and lean into it to really make it clear, or add taglines to explain the joke. But that's also my style. Like if people aren't gonna get it,
right.
At least I'm saying that, but I'm only saying in my style because I'm the one saying it. But I don't know in truth how much I actually explain the jokes when I'm on stage, or if I'm just kind of say something that will make them. I'll deflect and say something like, "That one was for me," or "That one wasn't funny," and then move on to the next one instead of trying to save the joke.
You kind of call it out
because you're so limited on the milliseconds on stage or whatever, or the decisions you make. I mean, but I don't know. Holding the silence on stage is important too. Like being able to slow down and be like, I'm in control and this is going to be funny.
Right.
That's a skill to obtain, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, like whole confidence game.
Yeah.
Right. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. Which is built in by doing the repetition and of not even necessarily the material, but like going up several times.
Yeah. And that's kind of something that I think a lot of us missed out on. But during the pandemic,
Yeah, and that's where you just have to look at life in a kind of a funny way and be like, oh, that's funny, or what's funny to me, what's funny to Steven,
right?
When he looks
communicating
at anything
that
in his
clearly, okay.
And then writing that down helpful. And then being like, is that really funny? I don't know. What's funnier?
Or like, what is it about it that I thought was funny, and how do I communicate that efficiently, and clearly?
And maybe how do I change the wording so it is a little bit funnier, but it's the same idea, but it's communicated more funnily.
Yeah. Israel has reportedly destroyed Associated Press and Al Jazeera news bureaus in Gaza as airstrikes in the region intensify. IDF leadership say the attacks are justified because the buildings had additional footage of Gal Gadot singing the song Imagine.
By John Lennon. What is IDF?
Israeli Defense Force.
Okay. Maybe you would say that's where I'm caught up is like, what is IDF?
Okay.
And do you make it even wordier by saying Israeli Defense Force? Or do you talk about John Lennon's Imagine earlier in it, or they destroyed it is but that's what you get when you're taking headlines, is it becomes extremely wordy.
Yeah, for sure.
You could go over it again if you
Israel has reportedly destroyed Associated Press and Al Jazeera news bureaus in Gaza as airstrikes in the region intensify. Israeli Defense Force leadership say the attacks are justified because the buildings had additional footage of Gal Gadot singing the song Imagine.
And Gal Gadot is
former IDF.
Okay.
Because she's Israeli. I mean, anyone from Israel's had to go through the IDF.
Okay. Well, yeah,
which is common knowledge.
Right? Yeah, this goes over my head because I'm not really putting my nose into the news as much. I mean, I know there's a lot of Israeli-Palestinian stuff going on, violence, but attacks.
I'm trying. Obviously, like I was going for, like this horrible destruction that Israel's causing is, is like spawned by this ridiculous, notion of like one of this Israeli celebrities, humiliating rendition of Imagine that she broadcasted with like all these other celebrities.
You could start with that saying, what's her name?
Gal Gadot.
Gal Gadot, or let's see, Israelis are the ones that were bombing, attacking.
Yeah.
Well, you just you rearrange it where. What is it? Was it because it was broadcast footage, or was it like spied footage? The Israeli spies caught
unreleased footage.
Israeli spies.
Additional footage.
Or maybe, but we don't know what the original footage is that they caught. So,
well, I think like the original footage was when Gal Gadot during the pandemic sang the song Imagine, and then like put it on.
Oh, that's what
she like coordinated like a number of celebrities
from Israel
just in Hollywood.
Okay.
Well, I mean, she asked like her celebrity friends to sing the song Imagine and record themselves doing it. And then as the song progressed, it just kind of like she started it and then it went to another celeb as singing different parts of the song.
Oh, I think I saw that.
Yeah. So that's kind of like.
And she's where is she from?
She's from Israel.
Okay.
Yeah. So like the idea is that that's so cringeworthy.
Yeah.
That the Israeli Defense Force would literally destroy a building.
The Israel Defense Force found the blooper reel.
Okay.
I don't know. Additional footage. Yeah.
Containing blooper reel of Gal Gadot.
I mean, blooper reel is kind of a weird word to throw in there, but it's also kind of an older reference. It's not it's not on the tip of my mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's not in the last 4 months or something. I don't think. I don't know.
Yeah, and it
was like last summer, right?
I was trying to evoke that by associating Gal Gadot to Imagine, which is kind of like the if you know who she is and you know that song, you should remember. That.
I guess it goes over my head because I don't know who she is, but it would be like if I was you, I'd be like, you remember last summer when all those celebrities did the cover of Imagine, to evoke awareness about Israel. Is that what it was for, or no?
I think like the reason she did it was just to bring some feeling of community and positivity during the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of like get her celebrity friends to sing this song and then kind of like edit all of those together into one take and then released on social media. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
It
If you
was
took
really from like
if you
from
if you paraphrase the first part of what you just said as the setup, be like, explain. Get the Gal Gadot, is that her name?
Gal Gadot.
Gal Gadot.
Gal Gadot, actually.
Gal Gadot.
Yeah, people pronounce it that way.
Gathered all her friends to sing John Lennon's Imagine to promote positivity and togetherness and a sense of community. But recently, Israel found additional footage of the rendition of John Lennon's Imagine, and they cast a few additional airstrikes, or I don't know, blew up buildings, because the punchline is that. Well, it could be either way. Is the punchline that they destroyed buildings because of this criticized John Lennon cover, or is the punchline that? I guess that is the punchline.
Yeah.
But how do you want to hit it? Do you want to? I think you want to introduce what they're upset about first. You want to bring up the John Lennon song so people are thinking about that. And know that it's like kind of horrid or cringeworthy,
right?
And then be like, "Oh, what happened? This is what happened."
Interesting. Okay.
I mean, that's one take on it.
Okay. So like, yeah, structure is like another thing that like
if you really want, if you can get the Big Funny's attention, he'll rework something for you, like for free. Like that guy has reworked several of my jokes. I mean, he just has an interesting. His brain is structured for restructuring.
Okay.
Basically.
He said he's been at it for a while.
Yeah, like over 20 years.
Yeah.
Which is something Craig Stewart was telling me at your mic, like a month ago, or I was like, man, Travis Simmons said a lot of stuff to me, and he's pretty insightful. And Craig's like, yeah, I only, but like, look where he is now. Like, he's not like conquering the world in comedy necessarily. I mean, he's doing, from what I know, he's doing like 5-hour podcasts about whatever, with his friends on the phone or something. But he's not to be discredited, but whatever.
I mean, I think he's funny, whenever he goes up.
Yeah, he's
I don't know him very well, though.
He's recognized that he maybe doesn't. I'm not maybe in the forefront of his mind ever, but after I went up at your mic, I went outside and he like had been listening because you had the speaker outside, and he was like, kind of like noticed that I had some kind of hilarity or amusement, Okay. That's all I'm basing this off of, but yeah.
Yeah. I should.
We can also wrap this up.
I should. Yeah, absolutely.
I don't care really. We kind of got into a fun little game, but we started at like 8:04 or something.
Okay. So.
But there's no time limit on whatever.
Biden's tax hikes are described as in flux as Democrats grapple with competing pressures. Amazon founder Jeff Bezos came to describe the recent tax hikes as "what are taxes?"
That's pretty good. That's like in your face. I feel like when you started saying this one, I was like, what the theme is of this would be a very like Weekend Update.
Absolutely. That's exactly what I'm trying to go for. This is like,
all you need to do is get that nice camera, or like we'll just we do a bunch of takes on these cameras and put a little screen like in post-production of like a little image, and then you could advertise it to techie communities on Reddit or something. I don't know. Or I don't know who's your audience, other Filipino Americans, or
I have no idea.
Yeah.
Somebody.
There's a lot of we all have fans out there.
I guess I'd have to publish stuff and find out who it kind of hits with.
I think what with all these are hitting. I mean, and I don't know how to exactly. That was kind of a play off of a previous one that
Yeah.
you're saying,
For sure.
you know,
Yeah.
about Amazon not getting taxed or paying 0%. But yeah, I would do if I was you and wanted to make like a Boz News, thing or whatever. Boz News Now. I don't know.
Right. BNN.
Yeah, that's funny, kind of. Although that's a little bit fleeting. You're giving CNN too much. I don't know. Basically doing like we're getting the wording down right or the take down right because it's kind of like voice acting, but you'd probably do video too, unless you just wanted to do. You could probably do it. Maybe you'd be working on if you did it audio only. It would be
Biden's tax hikes are described as influx as Democrats grapple with it.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, that would be tongue twisty, and you'd learn it. It's kind of like doing like poetry recordings or a comedy or whatever. But I guess I'm just basing this off of this deaf news channel I watch on YouTube.
Okay.
And I saw the behind the scenes of how the guy that tells his news updates for the deaf community, he was like, there's no deaf news out there that's telling the stories I want to hear, which is like international and just national stories. And then he picks about 6 of them, and he says he does 2 to 3 takes for each one because he's not perfect.
Right.
I mean, he's also doing sign language at the same time. I mean, he doesn't talk, but or use his voice, but I'm just saying there's a lot of post-production that goes into doing that.
Okay.
But then at least you don't have to do it live. Then you'd be doing it. You could make a show and it could be structured like, and it could be like, this is my monologue. It's a political themed show. Who wants to come see a political themed comedy show? I don't know. You have done a debate thing.
Yeah. So
that was Jim Weber had a wig on, or I don't know.
Yeah, he was he Biden? I think. Anyway, well,
or John Kerry. I don't know.
It was like Buttigieg, Yang, and like I think like Sanders and Biden.
Mm-hmm.
Buttigieg went in there. It was like Sanders, Biden, and Yang.
Or you could make it even more. I don't know if they translate by just reading, but you could just write them down and do a little blog or something.
Well, that's kind of what I'm doing actually is like I'm just gonna like read these at the top because I need material to fill the top of the open mic where I'm basically not doing any material at the top of the mic on Thursdays, and I want to do material. So this is kind of like this exercise I'm going through.
Yeah,
I
think I just. I guess I'd figure out how to make it a little more dumbed down, not dumbed down, but like friendly. Yeah, I guess dumbed down, but to the audience, where if people don't know what you're talking about, you either address it and be like, well, do you not know what this is, or was it just not funny? Was this not funny, or do you not get a reference? And then are you like, why? The crowd's not necessarily going to talk to you, so.
Right.
But I think if it's also like super relevant, like in the last 2 to 3 months or whatever, or I guess the last 2 months, anything in the last 2 months that's pretty hot that people have heard about, like vaccines are hot. Bill Gates' divorce.
Yep.
I guess his connection with Epstein, that'd be pretty hot too. Like this would be hack. He got divorced because he was having an affair with Epstein's dead body. I don't know. That doesn't really make sense. Never mind. That's just shock.
That's funny. Yeah. Because it's like so unexpected.
Yeah, and allegedly, I mean, it wasn't sexual with Epstein. It was about the prostitution or something.
Oh,
I think.
Right.
That's what I heard, that his wife divorced him because of his relations with
Epstein.
Yeah.
But then it's like, do you really know about that shit if you're hanging out with this guy on his private island?
Yeah, or how many times? Yeah.
Like, okay, so there's this like young blonde girl who I just assumed like that was someone's daughter that was at the party or something.
Yeah,
like that,
or are all billionaires bad people? I don't know. Luxury problems just
how can you not
magnify.
I mean, like having that much wealth, how can you not have someone hate you? I mean, well, that's just like life.
Not
in
have
general.
something with someone what?
Someone hate you.
Oh, hate
but
you.
that's life in general for anybody. You're gonna have someone that doesn't like you.
Yeah. Not your cup of tea.
Right.
Or is your cup of tea.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate the feedback on these.
Yeah, it was a fun theme, and it's interesting to immortalize this. We'll see how this turns out.
Yeah, definitely. I like.
And well, I also cut down. I don't know if you've watched any of the highlight reels I've done, but I'll cut down to like 5 to 8 minutes or something from the 2 hours we talked. See what's at least I'll jump around. I'll see something. There's something interesting, I think.
I can't wait to see it.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, I'm not ever releasing it. Then I'm just.
It's just gonna stay in your archive.
No, I'll release it. I have a lot of projects to get rid of or to get finished. Not that many. Yeah, I got outro music, and then I'll press not record anymore or whatever. Stop record.